our industry is quite well known to number crunching and counting numbers. If you look to the greenfield new projects around the world, we are talking about hundreds of billions of US dollars. And then the question is where all these people should come away from. Where are all the new professionals dealing with all this money and taking care of? That's one of the main questions for the youth. Also the youth, if it comes to bottom line discussions, if fossil fuel is really friendly, is it sustainable? Don't we pollute the earth too much? How our careers look like when we start with a corporation, where we will end, even if we are not only alone, but coming up with a family. Of course, we had a discussion in the beginning by the Prime Minister here in Malaysia. There's a lot of people not connected to energy. So also this kind of background questions are topics dealing with the questions you will be forwarding here. Don't lose time, let's start with the first one. Christina.
Dear guests, ladies and gentlemen, today we are here to talk about the talent crunch of the gas industry. I just flew from Europe. The youth unemployment in Europe is now staggering at 25%. And the unemployment rate of those people who graduate from master's degree in Spain and Greece is 50%. I would like to know the answer to this question. Does the industry see itself as a victim of a structural misfit, or the industry can be a part of the solution?
Thank you. A difficult one. Brian, could you do that?
Thank you, Kurt.
You have been already for several times in the youth floor. You have been acquainted with them. Come on.
Well, I think the answer is yes. There is a misfit between the demands of industry, whether it's in Europe or in Asia or Middle East, where I'm working at the moment, and what's coming out of the schools and universities. I mean, that is very clear. Just give a little example. Last year when we were recruiting some people for the company, and on the technical side, for every position I had 12 applications. Now, that might sound quite good, and I was pleased to have those 12. For the non-technical side, I had 170 applications for every position. And just as an anecdote, and I suspect if I go to any part of the world today, there'll be similar numbers coming out. And it is a combination, I believe, of the educational systems responding to the perceived and declared needs of society, and the importance of our industry, the energy industry, in underpinning the very existence and the very comfort and the very sustainable growth of our society, our societies, has never been met and never been made. And I think this has been a mistake in the industry, and we see it now reflected in the output of our schools and universities. So that needs to be addressed and redressed, because without the technical brains and skills and youth and creativity going into our business sector on the technical side also, then we have a problem. And not only a problem of finding the talent to keep the business going, but we will also have a problem of that 25% unemployment. Because that 25% youth unemployment in Spain is higher. In the Middle East, 60 million jobs have to be created in the next 10 years if they're going to absorb the youth of tomorrow. And if it doesn't come from what the economy needs, then they will stay unemployed. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should switch from law and humanities over to the technical subjects. That's not the case. You need a balance, because we need all the strengths, all the creativity that human beings can give. But we are desperately, desperately short of bright, creative talent going into the sciences, into technology, into engineering, and into the mathematics. And this is going to, we will suffer for this in the future if we don't redress it very quickly.
Thank you very much. I would say to the room, if you think you support his statement, you may applaud. We keep it positive. We're not going to yell if we are negative. But if you have the feeling that it fits to your way of life, please don't applaud. It don't have to be that. Fine. Okay, Ivan.
Sure. My question is, young people tend to think that the oil and gas industry can sometimes be very bureaucratic and hierarchical. given the problems that we're having fulfilling many roles, especially technical roles, do you believe that the hierarchical and bureaucratic nature of the industry is an impediment for fulfilling skill shortages?
Yuni, you would try this one?
Sure. I think
Your long experience?
yeah, for the young people, it's always like that. In general, they will say any industry there's too much bureaucracy, and because I think the younger generation, because for Petronas, it's a young company, almost 65% of our staff is below 35 years old. So we have a very young people in our company. So managing them can be a little bit handful, but we do enjoy managing them because it's my generation. I keep on telling my colleagues who created this Y generation. So they are our children. So we got to get used to handling them. And yeah, they do see a lot of things. There's a lot of procedures. There's a lot of things. And most of all, I think they believe that going up the ladder, I think moving in the industry can be a little bit slow, right? I think that's the main thing, yeah. I think that's what we find in Petronas as well. And in this industry where there's a lot of safety issues, environmental issues, health issues, this industry has to be very careful, actually. We are one of the most safe industry, I would say, even though some people think that it is a very dirty and polluting industry. But the oil and gas industry is one of the, I think, safest and the cleanest industry right now. So we do tend to seem as if there's too much bureaucracy, there's too much administrative things that needs to be done, but I think it's something that's required for this industry to remain safe and to remain sustainable for the long term of the future. That's my thoughts on this.
Well, this is really amazing. Yes or no? Okay. Sorry, I was too quick. I think it's also the mindset that people away from our industry has a different set of thinking what is the real core. Now, Glenda is on the movie. I think we made a 4 minutes short movie with a lot of youngsters explaining a lot, including the mindset of a lot of people who are not connected to this industry. Glenda? Yes, here we go.
The 19th century was called the age of steam. The 20th century was the age of oil. The 21st should become the century of gas.
The modern gas industry already has a revolutionary impact on the lifestyle of our generation. It lights our kitchen, heats our house, starts an engine, and drives the turbine. Gas is essential to us.
It is this very engine room of the global economy that powers our homes with electricity, provides gas for our stoves.
But the public has a poor perception of the industry.
So what are the negative perceptions about the oil and gas industry that has to be corrected among youth today?
What is a petroleum engineering? I don't know what is that. I just only know aeronautical, chemical and software.
Well, I think if the oil companies don't have their own story on the table, then the only story we're being told is that the oil companies are big and greedy and they're bad for the environment and they look out only for themselves.
What do you think about the oil and gas industry? Corruption, war, imperialism?
Environmental degradation.
Oil and gas is dangerous and technical.
Global warming and also gender inequality.
I propose 3 aspects of improvements that the oil and gas industry players can adopt: information, education, and engagement.
The key point is the lack of information. Big companies could start by doing campaigns in schools and universities.
The young people can only react based on their personal experience and limited understanding. Our industry has been misunderstood for quite a long time. Now it's time to change. Let the young hear our voice.
In order to have a desire to work in gas companies, the youth must know more facts about the gas sector and its advantages. In other words, companies should improve their information policy.
There is a need to create awareness. We need interactive channels which will acquaint youths about the opportunities, challenges, safety standards, and everything we do as an industry to make world a better place.
But when we first think of what we are going to do for the future, money is not the first thing or the only thing that comes to our mind.
Moreover, companies can also open their doors for students and young people, so they will have the opportunity to see how does the company work, what does the company produce exactly.
Courses which directly prepare for such careers should be opened. Presently, few colleges provide the relevant professional courses to be in oil and gas.
And they could do this support by providing internships or engagement. By providing this such of exposure, then you could see that before they step into the workforce, they are geared up and know they have the right mentality to come in.
I believe it is big companies, together with national governments, that should play the main role in the promotion and advancement of science.
Companies and government working together can take the leadership role to promote science and mathematics education.
Industry should compact with education institutions for research in various sectors of oil and gas industry. They should reward the talented ones with scholarships and fellowships.
People think the tech industry is cool. People think the fashion industry is cool. But for me, I would like to say the gas industry is also cool.
Change is definitely there. It's coming. And no matter what, you cannot resist it.
The industry should not just speak to the mind. The industry should instead speak to our hearts.
Young, creative minds will shape the future of gas companies. The future is in our hands.